Hey there, Lisa Cummings here from Lead Through Strengths. And I wanted to answer the question, when people say use strengths daily, that's something that many of us who are StrengthsFinder kind of practitioners will say. And it sounds a little nebulous, doesn't it? So I keep getting asked that question. What does that really mean to use them daily? And why should I keep this list of them in front of me? What's that going to do for me? So I'm going to give you two examples of how I've done this in my life, and then you can get an example of how to think about it. So the first thing I like to share with people is an idea of taking a filter, common kind of funnel, flip it upside down, and take whatever situation comes up in your day to day and drop it in the top. So something comes up, like you have a tough challenge, boom, you drop it in the top. And then it sounds like a song, drop it like it's hot, drop it in the top. Anyway, the filters, then you filter it through each of your 5 talents. So you drop your problem in, and then really quickly in your mind, you go, okay, how could I use talent 1, talent 2, talent 3, talent 4, talent 5? And usually, very fast, you'll start to get other ways of approaching that challenge that come out the bottom of the funnel that you would not have thought of otherwise. So as an example, I had a problem last year when, this is a personal problem, a stray dog shows up on my front porch, which happens regularly where we live out in the country. And this time it was particularly difficult where he was coming in, and we always try to get them adopted and scanned and chipped, and we go through the process that you would expect, and they never have a collar and they never have an owner, and no one ever calls from the found signs. And this guy was a real difficult cat. His name is Frank. I'll put a picture on the screen so you can see Frank and what he looked like when he would come to the front door and howl while I'm on conference calls. And I had a real struggle with him, just trying to figure out behaviorally how to make this dog that had been a wild animal, we came to find out on the streets, living amongst the coyotes for 3 years, how to make him functional so that he could be adoptable. And it really was using strengths. Just like I mentioned, I go back to my funnel and I drop in my problem, and I ran through my talents: strategic, maximizer, positivity, individualization, woo, and I would go through each one and I would think, how could I apply this to the situation? And Bing, one really stood out to me, individualization, which is a talent that lets you see what is different about someone normally and what they might need. And so it helped me understand how to relate to him. And I had this moment when I thought about the concept of individualization that, Frank needs to be treated differently because he has different needs, he has different qualities, and I need to not approach him like the typical couch snuggling dog that we have at our house. And it totally changed both the dynamic of the relationship and also the way that I could support him, kind of like you would as a leader in a company. I was trying to be the leader of the pack in a better way to give him what he needed. So literally, focusing on my StrengthsFinder talents helped me treat Frank better and get him a better outcome. Another example that's a little more work specific. Let's do one that is calendar. A lot of people get overbooked. They feel like they're overbusy, overstressed, that their inbox is unrelenting, that their calendar is unrelenting. This has been a problem for me in my career many times over. So just like the other situations, I get my mental funnel. I don't literally grab this every time, but it's a good prop, isn't it? I go, okay, I'm dropping in my problem that I'm chronically overbooked and overstretched and working until 11 p.m. or midnight with no breaks. And that is kind of a crushing thing to do to myself physically. And so what do I do about it? Well, I start filtering through my talents to find the culprit. And I think, okay, is it my strategic? Is it my maximizer? Is it my individualization or positivity or woo? And I start to see some flavors of each one. And when you ask the question, using strengths daily, strategic, yeah, that one gets me in trouble sometimes because I'm always thinking ahead. How can I use this in the future? What else could it be? And so sometimes I'll double or triple the workload to try to set something up to be better for the future. My maximizer gets me in trouble. It's probably my most naughty talent where It is constantly trying to be efficient and trying to maximize and make everything the best it can be. So I want to edit and re-edit and rethink and make it better and reanalyze it. And so that one, wanting the quality that I want, can really challenge me and let me put a lot of things on my calendar. Then you get to positivity. Sure, I like to do lots of fun things. I like to say yes to things that sound like a great time. So sometimes I'll say yes to too many things. Individualization. Yes, that gets me into calendar trouble because I want to customize for every customer and for every situation to make it work for that person. And woo, yeah, that can get in my way because this idea to have a wide social circle and be really friendly and welcoming and all of those things, it's great in many ways, but it also means I like to be liked by a lot of people. And so that leads me to say yes sometimes to things that I really should turn down. So when I did that, use Strengths Daily in that way, I was able to see how my talents could get me into trouble as well. So those are just two examples of how you can take any situation and then run them through your talents and see what might be going on here. How can I approach it differently? You can do this by applying it to tasks, to responsibilities on the job, to challenges you're experiencing, to outcomes you want to have that you're not getting, to goals you want to achieve. Anything you want, drop in the top of the funnel and then expand your capabilities and expand your thinking on that topic by filtering through your talents. So for me, that is my favorite way to apply that concept, apply strengths daily. Hope that helped you.